If you've spent any time looking at homes in the Seattle area, you've probably seen these boxy monstrosities all over the place. These ugly homes from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s aren't functional, they aren't trendy, and I hate them. At least that's what I thought. I'm gonna show you 3 ways you can make your split level not suck. Okay, just one quick side thing I gotta get out of the way here. When I say split level here, I mean bi-level, but everyone calls them split levels, so just work with me, First thing that sucks about split levels, the entryways are too small. The whole premise of the split levels is that you come in the middle and then you either go up or you go down. That makes the entryways really tiny because it's literally just a landing on a set of stairs. There's nowhere to put shoes, there's nowhere to put coats, there's nowhere to put backpacks. If it's raining, there's nowhere to put your muddy shoes. There's nowhere to put your wet sopping coats. There's nowhere to put your umbrellas. But if you're a true Seattleite, you're not gonna be using an umbrella anyway, so never mind that. People who are living in these split levels, they typically come in through the garage, and so there's usually a mud room built off the garage. Hopefully. Some of these split levels are kind of weird as far as their design, and so there isn't anything. You just literally walk into a hallway, and you have the same problem all over again. So how do you fix this? Hopefully you can add like a portico, or maybe even like build an enclosed area, or if you're really, really lucky, some of the later split levels had a double door design. So the actual entry landing is a little bit bigger and you can actually do normal get inside the house, take off your coat kind of stuff. The second reason split levels suck, no natural light. These are dark dungeons of homes. Kind of just the way they're configured. You have a row of rooms on one side, you have a row of rooms on the other side, and then right down the middle is the hallway. If all the doors are closed, it is dark. Really, really, really dark. Part of the way these homes were designed, that lower level typically has trouble getting light as well. In some of these split levels, they build out the top level a tiny little bit, so it creates almost this awning that makes it even harder for light to get into the lower level. Here's how to fix it. Bring in as much natural light as possible. Anywhere you can put in a window, put in a window, especially on those corners. That really lets a lot of light in. Those hallways, consider adding skylights wherever you can. If a skylight doesn't really make sense for the home, consider those tubular skylights. They're really, really interestingly designed and they can get a lot of natural light into your house. Worst case scenario, get a qualified electrician and have him put in a bunch of cam lights. My living room here used to just be a single light until we hired an electrician to come in and put in 6 more. As I was editing this, I kind of realized, people are probably wondering why these homes are so popular. So I think I need to explain that before we go any further. Here's how they got so popular. In 1923, Frank Lloyd Wright made the first split level. It was the storehouse for a fancy physician in the Hollywood Hills. It was way too expensive, way too fancy, wasn't in line at all with the homes of the day, the single-family story cottages. After World War II in the 1950s, the suburbs exploded from the baby booms. Cottages grew into these tri-levels, basically putting the private spaces on one side and the public spaces on the other side. Lots of baby boomers grew up in these kind of tri-level homes. As they got older, they started looking and seeing, these colonial homes, they're so fancy and popular and so expensive and look so big. But with the interest rates of the 1970s and 1980s climbing to extraordinarily high rates, those colonials were too expensive, so split levels started to fill that gap. They were big, they had multiple living spaces, and they were much, much cheaper to build. The third reason split levels suck, the homes aren't functional. The floor plans make it incredibly hard to entertain. Many splits were built in an era where the kitchen was just separate from the rest of the house. You had a formal dining room. You had a kitchen that was tucked away and no one was allowed to go in there. It felt like a place where your cook or your butler or your maid or someone would be back there. That's just not how we do things anymore. Open concept homes are what are popular right now. So how do we fix this? Explode the kitchen. The cool part about these split level homes is, architecturally speaking, those walls enclosing the kitchen aren't structural. So you can usually take out one or both of them. In the very, very best situations, you can remove them completely and have an island right there in the middle of your kitchen. Make it a focal point and then people can gather around it. In other situations, you might have to leave up a wall or maybe a post that you can find ways to integrate into your new kitchen. If you end up buying a home that hasn't had a lot of these things done, contractors are very, very familiar with these layouts and these type of renovations. They can totally help you do it. To all my clients that I've sold a split level to, I am not bashing on your house. Like, your houses are awesome. I've seen what you guys have done with them. They're really, really good. They're really amazing. They're really stunning. So yeah, split levels don't suck as bad as I thought. They're actually okay. But are they better than a townhouse?